Well, welcome back, listeners, to another edition of the Heads Up podcast. And it's been a really terrific week of backing winners, and we saw the Pussycats get done by the Blues during the week, which is a real highlight. But the biggest highlight for me, and it really was watching a horse win at Ellerslie on Monday that was KO'd with about 15 metres to go, but got back up off the mat and got up and won. BT Junior. Money shot. How did you feel when he came back and won for you like that?
Yeah, it was very exciting, Neil. He's a fighter. His old Norm, as we call him around the stable, and
Big Norm.
I think he was just foxing. Every jockey says he needs blinkers, but we're refusing to put blinkers on because he's winning without them. But he went to the line, even though he won by a long head, his ears were pricked. So it was a good tough win with the 59.5 top weight, and I think the second was in receipt of 4 or 5 kilos of him. So we might roll the dice and go for a bit higher sights, Neil, with maybe a Kiwi Fruit Cup as next assignment on the 24th of June.
Yeah, that'll be
in Tauranga.
Yeah,
so
we'll both be there.
Bit of fun. So no, that was good. And then of course you had a good day on Monday. Kiddo was your best bet. Yeah, that was a confident ride, wasn't it? Daily Myers.
I'm not sure.
Knew exactly where the line was.
She did. Looking back, I was, everyone who backed her thought, come on, get going. But I spoke to her, rang her the next day, and she said, no, she thought they'd gone a bit hard early, and she knew it was a long way down that straight and around that turn. And I just reckon it was a well-judged ride. It was a confident, well-judged. She knew she was on the best horse. She rides the horse in track work, and I just think it was a really good ride. So anyway, she won and on the horse, and the horse is a good horse, so that was great. Big drifter too.
I think it's jumping this week, isn't it? I think it's going jumping in Wellington.
Is it? I didn't see it.
I think it is.
Okay, I'll have a look later, but I haven't looked at the jumps field yet. Done all the flat races, but not the jumps races. But
and what about Wanganui, the Wanganui Cup? Do you remember that race on Saturday?
It was terrific. No, ladies first. No, you said keep putting it on till it hurts, and we did. She was a certainty, you thought, and I hope you made plenty, did you?
Yeah, we got $1 or two.
Yeah,
got $1 or two, and a chocolate fish to boot, which will taste even sweeter.
I must know you.
Second time I've got you off the chorus, mate.
That's right, yeah. No,
yeah.
She was good. And isn't she a big, strong-looking mare and top trainer?
Yeah, good thrill. Big thrill for the local owners too to win their hometown cup. So good on Humphrey and Fiona for winning that with ladies first. And what else happened during the week? You had a few winners down at Riccarton, did you?
Oh, I had a couple there I was pretty keen on. That with Kezia Murphy, very good trainer, and with Daniel Champion, who's also a farrier, and they know their stuff, and they've got some good horses they've really put the polish on, and they were stable with following, and she's very helpful with giving us the information about when they're ready to win, and she's been spot on every time, so we really appreciate that. And but the biggest thing that annoyed me and a lot of punters, and probably you too, Money Shot, was when the TAB site went down on Saturday. It must have been for an hour and a half, and I was sitting in the lounge there and having a few bets and trying to get on, and my brother was bringing me up and saying F and this and F and that, and couldn't get his bets on, and the 3 horses he wanted to back all bloody well won, so he was not a very happy chappy. What was it like for you?
No, not good. Hey, we all know technology will always fail from time to time.
Yeah.
It seems to happen on a little bit too regular basis with the current TAB software on busy days. But for mine, I don't think it was communicated well enough on trackside around alternatives and whether they needed to advertise the touchstone number. Punters are a creature of habit. If you place your bets on the internet, you'll only use the internet these days. You won't even bother with touchstone, so you needed to be able to notify people of that, and also whether they could just pop down to their local TAB or pub tab and bet there, because their systems and they were still taking bets no problem. So you got to give people the alternatives. When option A fails, you got to go to option B and C, and here's how you do it.
Yeah.
And that's where I thought they let themselves down, was in the communication piece.
Yeah, no, definitely. I didn't even know the touchstone number. I had a look on the contact help page, and it wasn't even there as well. So I think they didn't do their customers a justice there, and there's room for improvement. We did get an email though on Monday, I think it was, from Gary Woodham. Did you get one too?
Yeah, I got one. I think everyone was waiting to see the punchline at the end of a free bet or something.
Exactly, that's what I was thinking too. But okay, where's the?
But I just say at least it was something more than nothing. But hopefully they will learn from that and have an alternative plan in place, especially around the communication. Yeah. But the harness jewels, what do you think of those, Neil?
Oh, it was pretty good. Yeah, it was. I was sort of involved in the gallops more than the jewels. It was a bit flat for me personally, but good racing, and good to see the Purdon horses win well. But the shambles for me was the trial race, when at least half the field didn't get a chance at a decent start, whether they're breaking up, but. Who's the starter? Lamb?
Peter Lamb.
Peter Lamb?
Yeah. Peter Lamb, starter, and also steward with the RIU. I'm not sure if that really... It's a bit hard to find one of your own, isn't it, or question one of your own. So
doesn't make sense.
Maybe whether you should only wear one hat when you're working on race day, and then you're also an official working for the RIU at other times. It seems a little strange to me, I have to say.
Yeah. Anyway, we had a great week and really enjoyed our week, so that was a little hiccup, or big hiccup really, that hopefully they will learn from and get sorted out. And looking forward to part 2, where we're going to preview a couple of races and look at one or two races in Australia as well, and I'm going to try and win back my chocolate fish.
Feature of tomorrow's New Zealand racing, I'd say, Neil, is the 25,000 bonus turbo quaddie kicking off at Trentham Race 7, open 1,200 metre race. And I think you're keen on the favourite here, New York Minute, currently at the $2.50 quote on the final field market.
Yeah, she's, I think, fourth up and down in the weights. She's weight for age last start against a better field, and she sat wide and fought on really well for second, so I think fourth up. I remember seeing her at Taranaki when she raced there. She's a big, strong mare, and she's even stronger and thicker now. So I thought, down the weights, the only negative is she's drawn one, but I think Lisa will probably try and get the lead and just get out as wide as she can, because last time they raced there, last meeting, they all had to get out wide and that outside 5 or 6 metres. So, but I think if you're looking for an anchor, she's probably my anchor. I can't see Salamanca or Longchamp beating her fresh up, especially at the weights. But you keen on anyone?
Oh, it's a tough race. I thought. I mean, weighted. She's definitely weighted to win New York Minute. Sometimes Trentham's a different sort of heavy track to other tracks. I see she's had one run there on a good track over the Cup Carnival in January and failed. But for the sake of being contrary, Neil, I'll go against her, and I'll go with Platinum Command for a chocolate fish bet. I know it doesn't make a lot of sense. 1,400 first up, 1,200 second up, and a pretty average run, but it's not a bad horse, Platinum Command, who won them in a row last year during the winter and has won 2 and placed 3 out of 9 attempts on the course. So with that little course stat in its favour, I'll take you on with the chocolate fish, Platinum Command against New York Minute.
Sounds good. Giving me a chance there. No, I'll definitely have you on there. And you're leaving track there, I'll see, and maybe have the odd shower tomorrow, so I might loosen up a bit. But some good jumps races there.
Kiddo in the first, Sean Fannin, $2.60. Not even the favourite, just behind Perry Mason. So all the money you got off Kiddo on Monday, you might want to reinvest over the 3,000 metre hurdle trip where he goes on Saturday. Yeah,
no, he's got to be, if he can jump, which you think he could do easily from the Myers stable. Just going back to Kiddo too, he was a big drifter on Monday, along with BT Junior, wasn't he?
And Razor Fuacho.
Yeah.
3 horses that won in a row, I think, and they were all big drifters. So sometimes sometimes punters just wait for a price. They think, we won't back this, and we'll just wait and wait and wait. Interesting. I guess the bookies are influenced by other markets that are being bet on in the race through the exchanges and whatnot, and they have to move accordingly. But it was interesting to see that certainly Kiddo and BT Junior, they were paying a lot more than their opening price come closing time.
Yeah, I even like that horse Victor Vegas, that one earlier on today. I was pretty keen on him, and he was owned at 350. He got into 320, and he was backed into about 270, 280 on the tote near closing time, but he went up to $3 and ended up paying 340 and won really well. But it's interesting watching the fluctuations in those prices, right? But the Baker Forsman one, I've noticed, and you would have noticed, and many punters would have seen as well, when the money comes for them, they usually win, or the money's on. That's open Aussie. You've got some good races, haven't we? Doomben, decent track.
Yeah, good track. That's amazing for this time of the year.
Yeah, I'll just bring the races up here, and we've got the Derby. I see Order Again's out. It's a shame, but
one of your favourites.
Sure is. And we've got there's one horse there I like at odds, a thing of Waller's, and it raced against Order Again last start. Number 3, Black on Gold. He's a lovely galloper, needs a good surface, and been training the tracks down. Tommy Berry's on, I think $11 and $3.80 is good money each way. I wouldn't go crazy on him, but good each way bet. Anything you like there at all?
No, not really. I thought you might, on a wetter track, your old friend Mongolian Wolf would have come into play, but on a firm track he might struggle. And then you got the other Kiwis, Shocking Luck and Here He Comes. Shocking Luck, pretty disappointing last start. Yeah, maybe the better track might help.
I think it would, but I don't know if he's trained off or not. But you've got to put him in your quaddie, and same with, I like Ruthven as well, or Ruthven. Good one last start, working hard. Volatile mix drawn out wide, but I'll be doing a preview of that quaddie, suggested quaddie, because it's going to pay a lot of money. So,
and a straight break, that's a full field there, and 16 runners. Should be a bit of speed on, so the favourite's drawn wide, Clearly Innocent, might be able to slot in and still get over the top of them potentially.
Oh, definitely. I see they're really pissed off about transferring the race from Eagle Farm to Doomben, and you can't blame them. With the track at Eagle Farm being bigger and wetter, would have been ideal for them. But back on a decent track at Doomben, if they go hard, which they definitely will, with Burning Front and Jungle Edge up front, he could easily win again. My brother thinks he's a certainty. So Huey Bowman, 57 kgs. Wouldn't say he's a certainty, but I know a few punters are hoping he will win. But I'm quite keen on number 8, Macintosh. Tried up nicely, he goes well fresh, drawn 1, and that inside could easily be the place to be. He has to be a good chance. What do you like?
I'll stick with Clearly Innocent, but Macintosh definitely. I mean, he was a promising horse here in New Zealand, and he's gone to another level under the Waller tutelage, and his fresh up record is very good. 2 out of 2 with a 90-day or more break. So, yep, I've obviously targeted this race, so it'd definitely be a chance. It's the Kiwis. We should be winning the JJ Atkins, the 2-year-old race over the mile with Melody Bell. I see Queasy Phoenix is scratched now, but Melody Bell's the $1.90 favourite. Should be very hard to beat, regardless of the improved track, you'd think. You'd think so. That only question mark is she's been up a while. There was a hard run last start, but the top trainers, they should be right, and hopefully she can do it for the Kiwis with Opie up. Good stake money. Yeah, shame about Kiji Phoenix, because I think Donna was a bit annoyed about the wide jaw, so they're going to save him for another race, which makes sense. No chance there. What about Tirapa, the Northern meeting on Saturday, the rating 85 2100 race 4? Oh yeah. You got one in that? Yes, nice little field. I went through this quite a bit and ended up going for the top weight, Yock and Rint. He won well there in August on a dead 6 track, leading all the way, and I think that was a really good run last start on a slower track that favoured horses out in the centre. And I think from that wide draw he'll just
he's got actually good early pace. He can slide over, and if Trudy can find the rail, which I'm pretty sure she'll be keen on because he seems to like the rail, and said an even tempo would be hard to beat. But, what are you keen on?
Yeah, well, I know he had a few back issues, Jochen, and they got the chiropractor in on him prior to his last start, and that was definitely an improved showing. So I think he could be hard to beat, that's for sure. Likes T Rapa as a track.
Good information.
3 wins out of 12 starts there, so definitely loves the track. So wouldn't be the worst, and definitely a good price at the moment of $7.20.
Yeah. No, that's good information, that, because it does make a difference when they get a horse sorted out with a back problem. I know the horse I've got at the moment just didn't head out because of a slight problem, and they can't speak, so if you've got a chiropractor who can sort them out, it can make a lot of difference. I know myself, when I'm at 10-pin bowling a couple of weeks ago, I had a sore neck and got that sorted out, and it came right, and it makes all the difference about how you feel and how you move. So, okay.
And what happened when your neck came right in 10-pin bowling, Neil? I think you need to tell all your very loyal subscribers, what score did you get in 10-pin bowling this week?
Oh, I've been averaging sort of about 140, 150, which I've been happy with, but I got 199 on Thursday morning, and I was really pleased with that.
That's up there, mate. That's a great effort. Well done.
No, thanks very much.
We won't be having any chocolate fish bets on 10-pin bowling. I'll give you the tip.
I should keep it quiet, actually, shouldn't I? And play for a box of chocolate fishes next time I see you. But, no, I enjoy the game. Gets me away from the computer and really enjoy it. So, okay. Nothing else. I've got the preview up on most races at Australia and New Zealand. Actually, readers, subscribers will see I've found an interesting fact for Doomben on Saturday. I won't say what it is because the subscribers pay for the information, but they'll see what it is at Doomben, and I'm pretty sure 2 of those 3 horses will win. Hopefully all 3 will win, but subscribers will know what I'm talking about anyway. But, anyway, I'm looking forward to part 3 because the Pussycats, or otherwise known as the Lions, there's some really interesting betting options, and I'm looking forward to seeing if you maybe can sort one out for us to have a good go at over the next few weeks, because it is intriguing about what's happening there at the moment. So back in a sec with Money Shot's preview of the weekend sport and the Lions games. Okay, Money Shot, we've got some really interesting options coming up from tomorrow onwards before the Crusaders games, especially with different options for the Lions to win so many games. Now, I know you've gone through the odds. Have you got anything for listeners that we can hopefully find some value on and make a killing off?
Well, we've already found some value, Neil, I have to say, without blowing our own trumpet, because you were the one spruiking this as well. About 6 weeks ago, we took New Zealand to win the Test Series 3-0. I think it was $1.90 or $1.95.
$1.95, yeah.
Now $1.55, so that value's gone.
Yeah.
So let's have a look at so this is under the British and Irish Lions Tour. Lions total tour wins exact market. So they've played 2 games, they've got 8 to go. So they've won 1, beat the Provincial Barbarians, and lost 1 to the Blues. If they don't win another game, you can get $15 about that option. So they've got the remaining 4 Super Rugby franchises, the Maoris, and 3 tests against the All Blacks.
Yep.
So if they lose all of those, it's $15. Now, that's a distinct possibility in my mind, because you can sense the pressure's already coming on this team, the expectation, just the stupid things Warren Gatlin was saying at the press conference after the Blues game, where he compared the Blues, a Super Rugby team, as about the same level as the All Blacks. Well, even blind Freddie could see that no way would the All Blacks play as badly as the Blues did, and yet the Blues still beat them.
Yeah.
Admittedly, with a lucky try just before half-time with a kick bouncing off the post, but they had a couple of tries disallowed as well, the Blues. And the Lions just look lost to me. They don't look like they have any imagination.
No.
They're relying on their big forwards, which don't have the athleticism to offload in contact, and they're pretty easy to defend against.
Yep.
So I would suggest that's not the worst bet in the world. And hey, to see the Lions go home with 1 win and 9 losses, that'd be enjoyable. And the pressure's only going to get worse if they lose to the Crusaders tomorrow. The pressure's going to get on and on. The camp's there's going to be factions and disarray, and I think they might literally self-implode. So why not have a little spicky on the Lions to win only 1 game all tour at $15?
Makes total sense.
So let's just say, for argument's sake, you put $10 on that to return 150, and then as insurance you put $20 on 2 wins, which is paying $650, so they win 1 more game, to return 130. So your total spend is 30, and your return at worst is 130. So it'd certainly give you an interest over the next few weeks, cheering against the Lions in every single game. Unfortunately, this option was paying $51 prior to the Blues game now, so if you got on there, they'd be laughing at the moment.
No, well, apparently Mick Duran was on TV last night talking about the Crusaders-Lions game. He said a few weeks ago or a few months ago, the odds were up for that game, and he said they were totally flipped. The Crusaders were paying $3 something, and the Lions $1 something.
Even at the start of the week, the Crusaders were still the outsiders.
Were they?
Yeah. It's only in the last, since that Blues game, since the Provincial Barbarians game and the Blues game, I guess. And it's interesting. Again, it's the TAB. If they put up the odds and they had the Crusaders as, say, $1.70 favourites and the Lions outsiders at $2.05 or something, and yet every other worldwide market had the Lions as the $1.70 favourites and the Crusaders as outsiders at $2.05, well then every smart punter would just back the Lions with the New Zealand TAB and the Crusaders offshore, and they'd lock in a certain profit regardless of the result, which is beautiful if you can find opportunities like that. So while the TAB might think that the Crusaders are more likely to win, they can't reflect that in their odds because they'll get savaged by the arbitrage punters.
That's right.
So, and you look on that betting exchange that we refer to during live betting, which, remembering a lot of money would be going on that through England and the like. And the Lions were hot favourites right throughout that second half, even when they were behind against the Blues. So I think that's something you have to be aware of too, is how much offshore money and markets are still being bet on the Lions, or thinking the Lions are going to win, when I think most Kiwi diehard rugby fans see something completely different and think, any of our Super Rugby teams can beat that rabble.
That's a really good point, and listeners should be aware of that, and especially when the markets aren't moving as you think they would. That's a good reason why they aren't. Now tomorrow for subscribers, I know you've got a good bet sorted out. I'll put it up on the website by 5 o'clock tonight, so subscribers can see that. Looks a really good bet to me too.
And I think punting rule number 325, Neil, we need to revisit that guidebook because we forgot about it last week.
What's that?
Never tip golfers. Never back golf.
Big field.
Gee, it's a cruel sport, isn't it?
It is a cruel sport.
Our man, Matsuyama, I think we spooked him and then he went out and shot something like 6 over or something.
Yeah, he must have heard the podcast. Anyway, okay, we're going to press on. Part 4 coming up. We've got a couple of brickbats and bouquets there we want to talk about, and the multi-question of the week, a bit of a twist on that one this week as well. Back in a sec.
Part 4 now, listeners, brickbats and bouquets. And Neil, I think you've got a suggestion, shall we say, around just a little bit more form for the casual punter. Exactly.
I think, you've got Trenton tomorrow, heavy 11. It's going to be probably equivalent to a heavy 13, 14 or 15. It'd be good if we could have, for future reference, people looking the form in 3 or 4 weeks' time or 3 or 4 months' time looking back at a heavy track form. If they knew it was, say, a heavy 15 what time they went for 1200 metres, like 118 or 119, plus if it was loose or heavy, and if there was an inside or outside bias. That information could be abbreviated like it is in Australia. All that information is available in the form lines in Australia. So why can't it be here? And I think the heavy part especially, not so much in Australia, but we're quite unique, aren't we? We have these heavy tracks for about
definitely
4 or 5 months.
That differentiation between a loose
yeah.
track, which generally means there's been rain on the day, or a holding track, so whether you had heavy 11L, heavy 11H, referring to it either being loose or holding, something that they could easily look at, I would have thought.
Yeah, that's to have heavy 10, say L or H, right beside that, or even heavy 11's not enough. It's just a waste of time to me. You got to go back and do most serious punters who do the form on wet tracks will go back and have a good look anyway. But for the casual punter, just the information doesn't cost anything. Just get it up there, I reckon. But anyway.
Fair enough. Now, our multi-comp winner last week, of course, the answer to the question was Viandacross. That was in regards to the Castletown Stakes, and we were going to touch on the mighty Viandacross this week, Neil. Your recollections of the Wanganui Wonder Horse, as they called him?
Oh, he was a great horse. The most memorable races was probably the race where he got beaten, and that was at the Caulfield Cup, and he took off early. Shane Dye took off and looked like a winning break, but got nailed by a horse. Naturalism, was it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Naturalism.
Yeah, it was too, yeah. And Shane Dye never lived that down, but it was only a nose away.
Still to this day believes he made no error of judgment on that ride.
Well, if he'd won.
Still thinks it was a perfect ride. I think John Wheeler and co would tend to disagree.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Yeah, he was trained originally by Chris Turner. He was a high school teacher from Wanganui.
Yeah.
I think that effectively Viandacross was his first horse, and he kind of trained him just using textbooks and manuals. Didn't have a lot of hands-on experience, so just shows you a champion horse can come out of nowhere, and some people can be lucky enough to own literally a very good horse at their first attempt in race ownership. Case in point at the moment, John Snow. People who own John Snow, that's their first ever horse. Not a bad one to get first up, is it, Neil?
That's amazing. A bit like Ginger Nuts. I think there's a few owners first. Trouble is, you get that sort of horse first up, you think it's easy, don't you?
There's only one way to go from there. But Viandacross for me, there's 5 Group 1 second placings. He won 8 Group 1s, but here's 5 races he finished second in. Imagine if he had won all of these, he'd go down as an absolute champion. He ran second in the New Zealand Derby, in the Rosehill Guineas, in the AJC Derby, in the Caulfield Cup, as you've mentioned, and the Melbourne Cup.
Okay.
Those 5, you wouldn't get 5 bigger races really on the calendar just about than those 5.
No, you wouldn't.
And he ran second in all of them.
Amazing. In
the space of less than a year.
Yeah. That's amazing. And I remember the McKinnon Stakes one, unleashing through them.
Rough Habit took the lead and looked home, and he was trapped in a pocket, and he got out with 150 to go and just bloused Rough Habit and won very easily, and probably would have won that Melbourne Cup 3 days later if the rain hadn't arrived. Of course, Sub-Zero just ate mud for breakfast, so he was too good, but Viandacross was clearly second, and I think Castletown might have even run third in that Melbourne Cup. So certainly a vintage year for New Zealand, a vintage period for New Zealand stayers.
Yeah, certainly was.
Back in the early 90s.
And just do a search on YouTube and you'll see a lot of his races on there. Really worth watching. Haven't seen them for a while, so I might go back on the weekend and have a look at those. And last week Andy P had Break My Stride and Egg Tart in a multi. Egg Tart won all right, but Break My Stride, geez, I was a bit annoyed. He should have won. That little apprentice moved out too wide and squeezed them up and blew his chances, but that's the way it goes. Sorry, Andy, but maybe next time.
Not next time for Andy, because this week we're going to put in a new rule that if you've already had a crack, you've won the multi-bet, not whether the multi-bet's won, but you've had a chance to win by being the competition winner. You are ineligible this week. It's only for first-time winners. And we were talking about the mighty Rough Habit just before. It's Stradbroke weekend, and I think most people's recollection, if they were around or have seen it on video, Rough Habits winning his third Stradbroke in 1992, probably one of the best performances you'll ever see, back second or third last on the turn, and weaved his way through the field, flashed home up the inside to win comfortably, carrying top weight. So the multi-question this week is, who rode Rough Habit on that occasion to win his third Stradbroke? So we just need the name of the jockey and get your entries into Neil by 9 o'clock tonight, is it, Neil?
Make it 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock?
10 o'clock.
Yep.
Just email me, formpro@formpro.co.nz, or 027 027 352 6402 by 10 p.m. And if there's more than one, which there should be, my wife will draw out the lucky person's name, and I'll let you know soon after 10 p.m. if you're the lucky person. So
remember, if you haven't won before, if you have, take a breather. Don't put it under your wife's name.
That's right, yeah, good point, yeah. Okay, right, looking forward to some good racing tomorrow, especially at Doomben in Australia, and Te Rapa, and a couple of good jumping races at Trentham. So anything you're looking forward to in particular tomorrow, any race?
I'm looking forward to pouring a little saucer with milk in it and leaving it at the front door for the pussycats to drink, because that's the only success they'll be having this week. There'll be no success for the Lions.
You wouldn't think so, would you? Yeah. No, looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that game, Joe. I enjoyed the Blues game. Yeah, it was a good hard game.
Just as an aside, before we finish, Neil, if I could put in a little plug for any subscribers or listeners who are at a loose end on the 24th of June, which is 2 weeks Saturday. There's a punters competition at Racing Tauranga.
Yep.
Across the 9 races programmed on that card, $60 a race, so you need a betting fund of $540 and a $25 entry fee to get you in the room and lunch and subsidised drinks, etc. So it's always a popular day out. So if you're at a loose end, come along to Racing Tauranga on the 24th of June. And
hopefully the guys who won it last year, Mitch and Cody, whose last question I asked them in the interview last year was, have you owned any horses? And he said, oh, yep, Ginger Nuts. He won one race at that stage and went on to great things. So hopefully we can see them on the 24th. And they won it with about, 2,500 with Katie McKean, wasn't it? And Katie McKean was on the rail and kicked away.
Yes, and she won yesterday, so I'd imagine she'll be back to defend her Kiwi Fruit Cup title. So I think the word is there'll be a fair CD representation on the day, so it'll be a good spread of horses, hopefully good even competitive fields, and should make the punting competition very, very tough to win, but it'll be well deserved to the person who does win. I think there's about $4,500 to $5,000 worth of prizes up for grabs, so it'll be a good day out, that's for sure. And I'll make sure you enter a team, Neil. Yeah, you're due to win one of these things eventually. Yeah,
I sort of hit the front too early, I think. I've got to pace myself a bit better. But
yeah, you led last year too, didn't you?
Just tell those CD punters that are coming up, the horses that are coming up, they'll be running for second, because I think BT Junior is going to be really hard to beat on the minimum, on a heavy track. And anyway, looking forward to a really good weekend of racing and rugby, and make plenty of money, and we'll catch up with you next week.